You ever have one of those days where the universe just decides to pile it on? Like it's testing if you've still got that fire left in you after all the miles you've run? I'm Riley Donovan, and picture this: I'm weaving through the chaos at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. That endless hum of folks dragging suitcases and chugging overpriced coffee. My mind already half a world away because my phone buzzes with a text from my brother Ethan. Dad's fading fast. Riley, docs say it's hours now, not days. Get here. 15 years as a Marine recon sniper had turned me into this machine, always scanning exits, clocking threats in the crowd. But nothing preps you for the gut punch of knowing you might miss saying goodbye to the old man who shaped you. Even if we spent half our lives butting heads over me chasing bullets instead of a desk job. I flashed my boarding pass for that red-eye to Denver first class, cashed in from God knows how many dust-choked ops in places Uncle Sam swears don't exist, and the gate guy's eyes slide right over me in my faded jeans, and that beat-up canvas jacket hiding the ink on my shoulder, the Eagle Globe, and anchor with those extra bars only jarheads who've pulled triggers in the shadows would get. Boarding's a breeze at first, or so I think, slipping into 2A by the window, stowing my go-bag that's seen more continents than most folks see vacations. But then this slick suit across the aisle, Victor Langford, though I don't clock his name yet, leans back with that Rolex glinting like he's owning the damn plane, and mutters just loud enough. Honey, you sure this ain't the upgrade line? First class used to mean something. The flight attendant, Sarah, shoots him a polite smile, but her eyes flicker my way, and before I can even crack a grin, she's murmuring about a manifest glitch, needs to bump me back to coach for some VIP swap. The cabin's staring now, a couple of power bros chuckling like it's open mic night, and Langford pipes up with that oily drawl. See? Standards. Folks can't just let anyone crash the party. My jaw tightens, not from the snub hell. I've eaten dirt in ambushes that'd make these clowns puke, but because every second wasted here is one less with Dad. The guy who drilled into me that duty's a thief, stealing birthdays and ball games while you're off saving the world. And yeah, he was right. But I chose it anyway, just like he did back in Nam, commanding those river patrols where one wrong call meant body bags. I grab my bag, shoulders squared like I'm humping gear through Fallujah, and shuffle to the back where the seats are crammed tighter than a foxhole, folks gawking like I'm the entertainment. But then the captain strolls out. Tom Hale, ex-Army chopper pilot, turned sky, cowbs, and his eyes snag on that jacket right up, catching the edge of my tattoo mid-stride. He freezes, just for a beat, then whispers low, Sergeant Donovan. Shadow Ridge 14? That solo exfil in the Hindu Kush pulled 8 Green Berets out of that kill box when the birds couldn't thread the needle. The whole economy section goes pin drop quiet as he snaps a salute sharp enough to cut glass. And I'm nodding back, that old recon chill running down my spine because yeah, that's me, the ghost who doesn't get parades, just quiet nods from brothers who've stared down the same dark. He turns to Sarah, voice like gravel over steel. Get her back up front. Now that's not a request. And as I walk that aisle again, Langford's smirk wilts like week old lettuce, his eyes narrowing on me like I've just crashed his little empire of entitlement. Turns out, later I'd learn he's Victor Langford, big shot CEO of Apex Cyber, the outfit Dad had been quietly gutting for months over their ShadowNet project, government contracts for unbreakable firewalls that were anything but laced with backdoors selling data to the highest bidder. All because Langford's ego couldn't handle a whistleblower calling out his corner cutting that could have left our intel nets wide open to hacks from Beijing or worse. The flight drags through turbulence that rattles like incoming fire, and I'm scrolling Ethan's updates, Dad's lucid spells getting shorter, muttering about loose ends and the fox in the henhouse, when Tom slides into the jump seat up front, voice dropping conspiratorial. Your old man reached out last month. Riley said if our paths crossed, watch your 6. Something about a ghost from his DI days pulling strings. That's when it hits me. This web Dad's been weaving from his hospital bed. Because across the aisle Langford's on his burner phone, hissing low. Yeah, it's her, the sniper kid. If she's sniffing around, we pivot, make it look like the old fool's dementia talking. My blood runs cold. Not fear exactly, but that predator switch flipping, because Dad didn't just fight wars. He sniffed out rot in the ranks, and now this suit's betting on cancer to bury his sins. Faulty code in ShadowNet that had already leaked classified drops to foreign buyers. All for Langford's yacht fund, driven by that petty grudge from when Dad shut down his first shady bid 20 years back over ethical lapses. Code for greed poisoning the well. We touch down in Denver just as dawn cracks the Rockies, and I'm out the jetway fast, but Langford's tailing at a shadow's distance, that calculated stride screaming corporate fixer, not casual bump. Tom turns out he's the ghost Dad met. A grizzled nom vet with Dad's old unit corners me in the lounge, slipping a thumb drive in a napkin like we're trading state secrets at a diner. Jack said hand this only to you. Kid evidence on Langford's empire. Backdoors in the works that could have cost lives if they blew an op. My heart's pounding now, not from the op, but the weight of it all crashing in. Dad, dying alone because I was always one tour short of coming home. His letters full of that tough love silence after I defied him and enlisted anyway, whispering in my ear back then, Riley, it's not the bullets, it's the hole they leave in the ones waiting. We split me drawing Langford's eye with a fake phone call about family business. Tom vanishing into the taxi line with the drive headed for his son, Nate Harlan, FBI cyber hawk, who'd owe Dad a dozen favors from joint task forces. I hail a ride to the VA in Aurora, the sprawl of it hitting like a flashback, sterile halls echoing with ghosts of guys like us who'd traded limbs for liberty. And there in room 214 is Dad, Jack Donovan, shrunken under the sheets, but eyes still sharp as bayonets, gripping my hand like he's passing the torch. Riley. You made it, he rasps, voice a gravel whisper, and I choke out. Always, Dad for you. I'd run the cush again barefoot. He pulls me close, breath ragged, spilling it all. Langford's threats after the diagnosis, veiled hits on Ethan's law firm, my consulting gigs, that weren't so secret, all to scare him off the ShadowNet probe, because that backdoor wasn't just sloppy, it was sold, piece by piece, to rivals who'd love a peek at our drone feeds. Born from Langford's old beef with Dad over a botched contract that tanked his early rep, turning grudge into an empire of shadows. We talk fierce and low, him confessing how he'd tracked my every op from afar, pulling strings to reroute me from bad drops, pride cracking his voice when he hits the Hindu Kush, heard from your CO, said you were a damn legend, kid, but I sat in the dark that night praying it wasn't true, because legends come home in boxes sometimes. Tears sting, uninvited. Because here's the man who'd grounded me for sneaking smokes at 16, now admitting his rants against Recon were fear, raw terror of burying another Donovan after Mom. And I'm whispering back, you taught me to fight clean, Dad, even when it hurts. But then his grip slackens, monitors beeping flat, and the world's tilting, that final exhale stealing the air from the room. Ethan's there in a blur, hugging fierce. But outside in the waiting lounge, Langford's plant a slick merc in a cheap suit, fake badge dangling eyes us like prey, phone to ear murmuring updates. We play it cool, me feigning a breakdown call to crash at Ethan's, but we bolt for Dad's old cabin in the foothills instead, that cedar-sided relic where he taught me to field strip an M16 by flashlight. And sure enough, in the den's false bottom drawer combo, my enlistment dateway snagged the backup files. Terabytes of code audits proving Langford's sellout, right as shadows move in the yard. Suppressed pops echoing like firecrackers in the night. Heart slamming. I shove Ethan behind the gun safe. Knife out from my boot, that custom folder that's cleared more than one hot zone in the door splinters. Two goons in tack vests sweeping beams. One snarling into comms. Package secure. Boss Harrington's ghosts are dust. But Nate's team crashes the party like thunder. FBI tack lights blinding. Federal agents down now. And I'm tackling the lead shooter, elbow to throat, knee to groin. That satisfying crunch as he folds. While Nate's round drops the second clean. Riley Donovan. Nate grins through the chaos, holstering. Dad said you'd be the wild card, welcome to the fox hunt. Turns out Dad's contingencies ran deep, looping in Nate months back, because Langford's rot wasn't solo. It snaked into a web of lobbyists and brass who'd greenlit the flaws for kickbacks, all rooted in that ancient slight Dad's testimony killing Langford's first big score, birthing a vendetta that festered into treason. We roll straight to Apex's glassy tower in Lodo, me in borrowed tack gear, pulse racing as we breach the exec floor, Langford at his desk shredding like a cornered rat, but he looks up cool as cryo, spotting me through the stack. The prodigal sniper your daddy's fever dreams in tonight. Who'll believe a dying vet scribbles over my donors? His lawyer squirms, security twitching for heat, but Nate's voice booms. Warrant says otherwise. Vic fraud, espionage, the works, and I lean in close, voice ice. You gambled on silence, Langford, but Dad bet on truth and he always played to win. His facade cracks then, a snarl twisting that Botox mask. You think this buries me? I've got senators in my pocket. Kid, your little crusades, just noise. But as cuffs click and agents swarm, the server's wiped. Yeah, but our backup's ironclad as bluster fades to that hollow bluff of a man watching his house of cards tumble. All because one old Marine wouldn't let greed eclipse the oath. Weeks blur Dad's service at Fort Logan, rifles cracking sharp under blue skies. Ethan and me trading stories with vets who'd whisper how Jack Donovan pulled their asses from fire back in the day. Not for glory, but because that's what we do. Leave no man. Langford's empire crumbles in court, that Pentagon weasel flipping for immunity, spilling how the backdoors fed gigs of op data to shadows overseas. All for Langford's revenge-fueled payday. And the judge slams the gavel life. No parole while Langford glares daggers from the dock, muttering, "This ain't justice, it's vendetta." But I'm thinking, nah, it's the echo of every silent watch we kept. Subnets patched, ops safe. But as I pin my recon tab to Dad's stone that dusk, wind whispering through the aspens, I wonder, did we win or just kick the can? Because guys like Langford, they sprout like weeds in DC dirt, fed by grudges and green. And here's the rub. Was Dad's fight about the code, or proving to me that family's the real op, the one you can't quit? Hell, I traded shadows for training the next wave at Pendleton now, watching raw kids grit through the suck, but late nights, I scroll those files wondering if the next fox is already in, wearing a suit and a smile. What about you? Ever stare down a bully with power and think, is calling them out worth the war, or does it just breed more snakes? Drop your take below. Folks, did Riley's crew serve justice, or stir the pot in a system rigged to forget? Hit like if this hit home, share if you've got a ghost story of your own, and subscribe for more real talk reckonings, because life's too short for polished lies.